Alright, welcome back to Magic Isn't Real, the place where I try to replicate the claims of the supernatural with my very natural skills. Now, today I want to talk about the difference between performing for camera versus performing live for people, in the streets, at the theater, at the restaurant, in the bathroom, especially public bathrooms. That's where I do most of my live performances. Anyway, some of you might ask oh, but what does this have to do with telekinesis of the supernatural? And I'm like, first of all, thank you for asking the question. Second of all, not everything has to be about telekinesis and supernatural power. The show, the channel is called Magic Isn't Real, so I'm allowed to also talk about magic. But for you guys that like me to talk about telekinesis and like me to talk about the supernatural, just don't leave yet, because I will explain what does this have to do with the supernatural. I promise. So stay there, and while you're there, subscribe, because I know that you're not. I know I have this thing called the analytics of the channel, and I can see who's watching regularly and not hitting the subscribe button. So just please, it's literally free for the next 24 hours. Tomorrow, you're gonna have to pay. And speaking of analytics, I have noticed that every time I post a video of me performing live for someone, and it's just happened to be filmed, whether it's a short or a long format video, I've noticed that those videos don't do as well as this type of videos. Now, there could be all sorts of reasons why. It's not necessary that my performance live sucks, because it doesn't. I know, I'm really good at performing live. You get to see that I'm just turning my hand like this. And now the magic is ruined. For everyone. Except for you. The thing is that, here's the thing. For me, this is not magic. For me, this is more magic. Woo! But it could be that it's not being maybe filmed properly, so it doesn't translate for camera. It could also be that maybe the thumbnails are not as captivating. It could also be that maybe you just like to hear me talk like this, like we're doing right now. As I said, there's so many reasons for it, but I want to focus on one reason, which I think it could be also the main reason why those videos don't do as well. And the reason is, for me, there's a big difference between performing a trick for you right now, watching at home, on your phone, TV, cell phone, and cell phone, which is the same thing. I don't know why I did that. I meant to say tablet. On your phone, TV, tablet, whatever device you're using, Apple Watch, Samsung Watch, whatever you're watching my videos on. There's a difference between me doing a trick for the video specific, and it's obviously very different for me performing something live with someone physically with me that it just happens to be filmed. Now, I could talk about this for probably hours, and you will still maybe not fully get what it is that I mean. Or I can give you an actual proper example. So if you made it this far on the video, it means that you have seen the opening little magic short I've put in the beginning of this video. It would be almost impossible for you not to see it. If you're watching this right now, but you don't know what I'm talking about, it means that you just clicked on the video and then immediately skipped to this point, which is, why would you do that? It's very weird. Anyway, you've probably seen this, you've probably seen this, the opening videos that I posted. So first of all, it's a fantastic magic trick called Money Morphosis, made by Dallas Houston and Jason Bird. And I actually met these two incredible magicians years ago, and they showed me this trick for the first time, and I was like, I have to have it, I have to buy it, and it's incredible. Now, the little short that you've seen in the beginning of this video, it's obviously made for camera, as in there's edits, it's beautifully shot, there's kind of a narrative going on, so you can follow, you can rewatch it multiple times to see how it goes. There's even a drone shot at the end with a beautiful landscape of Cape Town, and that's why I wanted to be appealing for you, the viewer at home. Now, watch the same trick performed live for a crowd, and obviously there just happened to be a camera there filming. But watch me perform the same trick live for a crowd, and you will see that it doesn't look so spectacular. But I'll let you be the judge. Watch this.
Listen, if you think of a 20 like a caterpillar, the caterpillar will go up on a tree and then it will climb. Until it finds the perfect spot. Oh, hell no. To turn into... No ways. Yeah? No. That's no Jesus. Wow. Into a beautiful butterfly. Now, I've never seen that guy ever again. All I know is that his name was Moses.
Did you notice how people were freaking out? But you probably watching it at home would be like, oh, okay, I guess. Now imagine if I would have just posted that, the second one, the one I just posted, the live performances. You would have probably clicked away from this video. You would have probably think that I'm not even a great magician. But at the same time, go back, rewatch, like listen to the reaction, listen how people were freaking out. And because there's a difference, like I was performing for them. I was performing for them live and they were there watching it live without the possibility of stopping, rewinding, changing your angle at any moment. They were just there focused on me performing live and they saw this thing and they were like, oh my God, it looks amazing. Unfortunately, it just doesn't translate for video because there is a big difference. And now I want to say something, and I don't mean to bash on this incredible magician, so that's not what I'm doing. But if you watch any magic special, like from David Blaine to Chris Angel to Dynamo to Justin Willman, I think it's on Netflix, to even Big Trick Energy, you know, Chris Ramsey and his friends, like you will notice that all those tricks like look amazing, almost a bit too amazing. And the reason is that there's a lot of editing going on and there's nothing bad about that. I'm not bashing on this. I'm not saying they have to do this. If we magicians create a piece of content that is supposed to be on video, it needs to be designed for video. It needs to be for you watching it at home with the possibility of rewatching it multiple times. The possibility, hell, YouTube gives you the slow motion feature. No magician can compete with a slow motion feature. Like what like you're gonna see. If you see this thing in slow motion, you're gonna see everything. Doesn't matter how fast I am. It doesn't matter. You're gonna see it. There's literally nothing. There's no way we can fight that. But we don't need to, because filmmaking is an art form. Making video is an art form. We just have to rethink our tricks in a way that they would be spectacular for video, which means we can work with angles, we can work with editing, even if we perform something live for someone, right? We can capture their reaction of a trick and then we can film the same trick at a close-up later so you can also see it. And you can see the reaction, which is a real reaction. I'm not saying that those people in those magic special are like the people that are reacting, they're faking it. They're not. They are reacting to a magic trick. It's just not necessarily the same trick you're seeing at home or not the same way you're seeing it at home. I just filmed my live show without thinking that they're not gonna translate for camera. And this is why I think those videos are not doing well on the channel. And it's okay, because the reason why I put them on the channel was not so much to impress you with the magic trick. It was more to show you that A, I do live performances, and B, their reaction. I just wanted to focus, I wanted you to check the reactions in the video, how people reacted, even though the trick doesn't look as spectacular on camera. And that's kind of the point. That is kind of the point. Now, before I explain to you how this connects to the supernatural and to the telekinesis, I want to give you another example, okay? This morning, I was setting up the lights in the new studio. I was changing a little bit the background. I just thought of a little fun visual magic trick that I want to show you really quick. So, check it out. All right, so today I'm going to show you how a magician make more money. I'm going to take this coin, I'm going to throw it in this hand, I'm going to tap. I'm going to squeeze. I'm going to throw it in the air, and technically it's more. There's more. Now, that trick would never work live. Also, just before you go, I know it's not the greatest magic trick ever. It's just for fun. I did that one specifically straight for you for the camera. It's a trick that I would never perform live because it would be ridiculous. Actually, you know what? I'm going to show you the exposed view of the trick so you know why I would never perform it live. It would be like ridiculous. On the other hand, I think at least for the first watch, it looks really good on camera. Now, obviously, the more you watch it, the more you probably get what's going on. But I'm going to show you right now what would happen if I perform that trick live. So first of all, it would only work for someone who's being like straight in front of me. Because the moment I turn around, you will see that I'm just resting this giant coin on my wrist like that, all right? So someone who's over there, like it would be able to see it. You would also be able to see that when I grab this coin and I drop it in this hand, I'm actually grabbing it with my pinky like that and putting it down. Then rub, and then I throw the coin in the air. Ooh, that was a blooper. And then I throw the coin in the air. and catch it. This is a good example of a trick that I basically thought it could only work for camera, which is also another reason why I get a lot of people sometimes, or they follow me on Instagram, you should follow me. A few times it has happened that some people that come to watch one of my shows because they have seen my trick that I post on Instagram, my little reels, or like even the shorts on YouTube, and sometimes they go like, oh, how come you didn't do that trick? Well, it's because I designed those to specifically go online, on social media. They will never work. There has been live magic show that have been streamed like on television, and obviously they work. I want to do that one day, but it's gonna be a nightmare because they're designed to work both ways. They're designed to work for camera and for a live audience, and that can only work with a lot of preparation, a lot of cameras, a director behind the cameras that knows exactly where to cut to keep you involved in you watching it at home. Anyway, let's get to the part of the video that you're probably waiting for if you're one of those guys obsessed with telekinesis or the supernatural. But here's why this is important for the research of the supernatural. So I'm getting this type of comments a lot. I got one recently, so I'm going to use that comment specifically. I'm going to put it on the screen now. And then this type of idea. So this comment, it doesn't even matter. This is about Evolve Ministry. I mean, you can check my videos about Evolve Ministry, but it's not necessarily about Evolve Ministry because I get this comment a lot. And it is, you never be able to replicate the things that these gurus do in real life. Oh, once you meet them in person, you will see that these abilities are absolutely real. Well, yeah. Obviously, because none of them are actual filmmakers. But on the other hand, most of them, allegedly, in my opinion, are really good salesperson. You know how many magicians I know that they actually post nothing online? And when they post something online, it's a terrible video because A, they don't know, and B, they don't know. As in, like, they don't know how to set up the camera properly, how to set up the lighting properly. They don't know how important the angles for the cameras are. And also their tricks require a personal connection. So yeah, no wonder if you go visit them, you're gonna see more spectacular stuff because you don't have this anymore. You don't have the chance to stop, rewind, re-listen, click the slow motion option and check it in slow motion. Like, you don't have this chance. You're with them and they are expert in this. The camera, it's a great tool. The video is a great tool, which is why it's much harder to post magic tricks online than it is to perform it live. You saw the difference between the opening video of this that I did, the opening video that I did for you, and the one performance live. You saw the difference, and yet the people watching that in live were freaking out, and you at home were not. So every time I hear this thing like, oh, you just have to meet them in person, you will see they do much more incredible stuff. I don't think they do. I think they do the same thing. The difference is that you're there and you're captivated because that's is what they're good at. This is why they push you. Like, have you ever thought of this? Have you ever noticed that like someone who works in sales, right? Any sales department or whatever, have you ever noticed that they want to talk to you personally? Like, they're not gonna try to sell you something like over like a WhatsApp message or a text message or an email. There's always this thing where like they send you like a text or an email that says like, oh, can I give you a phone call? It's the same principle, because once they get you to engage personally, which is what most magicians do in live shows, you are lost, quote unquote. And maybe lost is not the right word to use, but like you're captivated, which is also probably not the right word to use. But what is the moral of the story? What is the conclusion over here today? Well, it's simple. As I have established, there are magicians that are really good at designing tricks and performances that work really well for camera. And there are magicians that are really good at designing and performing tricks live in person, and there are magicians that can do both. But ultimately, all we do is entertainment. So the ultimate goal that we have is entertain you, no matter how we are achieving this goal, and hopefully we are achieving it really, really well. And ultimately, it doesn't matter, as the name of the channel implies, magic isn't real. We just have to entertain you in any way possible using any format that is available to us. On the other hand, you the telekinesis practitioner, you the master of the supernatural abilities, you have a much harder job, because you're trying to convince us of the existence of something that so far by the majority of the world has been considered not real. So I'm sorry, it really doesn't matter if you have the most kick-ass video that it's incredibly impressive and convincing, or that your videos are not good, but when I meet you in person, you're super convincing. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter what you think.
It doesn't matter because unfortunately, your thing goes beyond just whether you're a good performer or salesperson, live, or whether or not you have created a very nice piece of content. Unfortunately, yours is not just entertainment, so we cannot stop at that. Your way of convincing people in person, it's not enough. It's just simply not enough. So I'm tired of hearing like, oh, once you meet this person, live, once you go meet him like, face to face, you will see how real it is. I'm like, it's still not enough. You could be able to fool me. This has to go beyond just camera performance or live performances. This has to be properly tested and properly experimented upon and peer reviewed and etc, etc, etc. I say this stuff all the time, and hopefully this message will eventually get across to you. I really hope. Where's my coffee? All right, and that's all I got for today. If you're still watching, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. To prove it to me that you're still watching the video right until the end, I need you to comment. That was not smooth. I bumped into the mic. That was terrible. I feel like I should do it again, but I don't wanna. I just want you to comment Jumbo Coin. This is what it is. It's a jumbo coin. You can find it at your local magic store if they still exist. Otherwise, you can probably buy it online like everything. And thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. And I shall see you on the next video. Peace out.